This conference will now be recorded.
We'll see what do you mean by this affect sharing, and then how can we share the record through affect programming, and then how can we implement this, at what scenarios we can go with that affect sharing. Okay, how to implement, we'll see practically in this case. Okay. Now, so that already you are aware of the concept of sharing. When sharing concept came into the picture generally, when the object's portability is private. Okay. Whenever the object's portability has been defined as private, then sharing concept came into the picture. Why? Because once the object's portability has been assigned as private, whenever the user is creating a record inside the object, the record will be visible to the owner of the record and his manager. Okay, owner of the record and his manager. Other people will not be able to access the record. Okay, other people will not be able to access the record. Like our siblings, subordinates, those people will not be able to access the record. So in this case, in order to make our record to be get visible to the other people, that means it may be to the siblings also, subordinates also, we are using the concept of sharing mechanism. With the help of the sharing feature, we can share the record to one or more number of users with the required level of access. So, upon sharing the record, we can decide what level of access those people will have on my record. That means whether those people simply can see my record or whether those people can able to modify the record also. That we can decide depends upon our requirement. So whenever we are going to sharing the record to either single user or multiple users, we are having multiple ways are available as part of sharing. You know that already we have discussed during the admin concept that we have three types of sharing mechanisms are available in Salesforce. First one is manual sharing, second one automated sharing, third one affect sharing. Okay, now. So now what do you mean by manual sharing? Manually, we can share each and every record to the required people with the required level of access. That means how can we share the record manually? With the help of what? Sharing button. Okay. So now sharing button will be getting enabled on every record's detail page in that object whenever you are making the object's portability as private. Whenever you are making the object's portability as private, in that object, whatever the records are available on every record's detail page, Salesforce will enable an additional button called as sharing button. Through that sharing button, we can share the record manually. But the problem is, we have to share each and every record one by one. Open each and every record, go to the detail page, click on sharing button, select the people to whom you want to share the record. It may be to a single user, it may be to the multiple users also, whatever it might be. So every record we have to share one by one. If you want to share some thousands of records, it will take more time because sharing each and every record one by one will be very, very difficult. If you're having some 100 records, then no problem. I can manage some 1 or 2 hours of time. I will share the record manually. But if you're having some thousands of records or lakhs of records, it will be creating a big issue. It will be a big deal to share the records, okay, to the people. If you're having some large number of records are available, so at that time it will be taking some more time, so which is a time-consuming process. So to avoid that problem, we are using the help of automated sharing. Okay. So now here we can able to make the process automated. Instead of sharing the record manually, we can make that record to be get shared to the required people dynamically at runtime by creating some automated rules called as sharing rules. With the help of sharing rules, we can share the record to either one or more users. Okay, depends upon the required level of access. But in this case, you can create the sharing rule to share the record. Then what is the problem in the sharing? Why should we go for that affect sharing especially? Why can't we go with sharing rules itself?
We cannot decide the user.
Okay. Whenever we are going to sharing the record to the people by using that sharing rule, let me explain. What is the problem in this case? Whenever we are sharing the record to the required people through that sharing rule, then upon creating the sharing rule, we have to specify. Upon creating the sharing rule, we have to specify. Now, what type of sharing rule you are going to use. For example, I am using with the criteria based sharing rule. Okay. So in this case, we have to specify what conditions needs to be get verified before sharing the record. Okay. So that we can able to add the required conditions also depends upon the requirement. We can specify what conditions needs to be get verified before sharing the record. And then you have to specify to whom you want to share the record. Okay, to which people you want to share, either to a public group or to a role or based on roles and subordinates. To whom you want to share the record, you have to specify. Suppose, for example, I'm selecting the public group called as Hyderabad Sales Group. This is the group of people to whom I want to share the record. What level of access you want to grant, you can decide as specifying some read write. That means what? Whenever we are going to sharing the record through that sharing rule, then we have to specify. Because then we have to specify what conditions needs to be get verified, to whom you want to share the record, and then what level of access you want to grant to the people okay, on your records. We have to specify all three. But in some cases, I want to decide this user dynamically at time. Okay, I want to decide this user record to be dynamically at time. To which group of people okay, you want to share, I want to decide dynamically. Do we have that facility over here? No. Upon creating the rule itself, we have to indicate to which sales group you want to share the record. To which group of people you want to share, we have to specify. And along with that, can you decide this read write access or read only access dynamically at runtime? No, there is no such possibility here. Why? Because upon creating the rule itself, we have to specify what conditions needs to be get verified, to whom you want to share, and then what level of access you want to grant. Everything we have to decide upon creating the rule itself. But some cases, I want to share the record dynamically at runtime. I will decide dynamically at runtime to whom I want to share the record. Like for example, come here scenario. Assume that I'm having my account tab. So this is my account object here. I'm having this account object. Now, this record I want to share. To whom I will decide dynamically at runtime. How? So now you would like to map the association of this particular record with the user object. I'm going to be mapping the association with the user object. I'm creating a new field, which is a lookup relationship field with user object. Because to which user you want to share the record, I want to decide dynamically at runtime. Okay. Now, so that I'm creating a lookup field. The lookup relationship field with user object. Okay, with the user object. I'm creating a lookup relationship field with the user object. User is a parent, account is a child. Click on next. I'm indicating. Share record to. That means to whom you want to share the record. I'm indicating. Select the user to share the record. Okay. Select the user to share the record. Click on next. Make it visible to all the profile users. Make it safe. So now we have created one relationship field that is called as a share record to. A share record. So the user you want to share the record. I am deciding dynamically at runtime. So let me go to my user interface here. Here you will be getting that field. You will be getting the field to take user. Now upon creating the record, I will select the user. Click on this lookup icon, I will see. I'm selecting development user. When you click on save, record should be shared to development user. That means I'm deciding dynamically at runtime. Sometimes I will be upon creating the second record, I'm selecting the user as testing user. This is the user I want to share the record. For example, upon sharing this record, creating the record, I'm selecting customer user. So I want to share the record. That means what? To whom you want to share the record, I will decide dynamically at runtime inside my user interface. Okay? And that too, whenever I'm sharing the record, okay, whenever I'm sharing the record, so if this annual revenue value greater than some 1 crore, then I want to grant read write access. If this particular annual revenue is less than 1 crore, I want to grant read only access. That is my requirement. That means what? To whom you want to share the record, I will decide dynamically at runtime. And then what level of access you want to grant, that I will decide dynamically at runtime. But these kind of facilities are not available inside your sharing. Upon creating the rule itself, you have to specify to whom you want to share. But I'm not deciding to whom I'm sharing here. Based on the availability, I will select the people to whom I want to share the record at time. Just I will go to my user interface. Here I will select that to whom I want to share. So now after a few minutes, I'm changing this value from okay customer user to some development user. Then it has to share the record to development user also. So at that time, to whom I'm sharing the record, I want to decide dynamically at time. But in this case, this kind of dynamic mechanism is not available inside your sharing rules. Even though the sharing rule is sharing the record, but the conditions are hard coded. To whom you want to share, this is hard coded. What level of access you want to grant, that is hard coded. Everything is hard coded conditions available inside your sharing rule. But sometimes I need these rules also, these conditions also I want in dynamic mechanism. Dynamically I will decide to whom I want to share. Dynamically I will decide to which level of access I want to grant. But this kind of facility is not there inside the sharing rule. So at that time, I would like to go with a feature called as affixed sharing mechanism. Through affixed sharing, we can able to share the record to the required people, okay, the required people with the required level of access also. But at that time, the people used to have the coding with the help of triggers. But now I don't want to use trigger, I want to go with process builder. Okay, because when coming to the sharing mechanism, sharing process has to be executed when? Before or after? After of what? After insertion? After insertion. So now tell me, will your process builder own file after insert, after update? Yes. Then why should we go for the triggers? Previously we used to go with the triggers, but now I don't want to go with the trigger. I want to go with the process builder. So in this case, I want to write some piece of code by using matrix programming to share the record through programmatically, and then that piece of code I want to execute through process builder. Then how can we create the process builder? How can we share the record? We'll see it practically now with the help of this affixed sharing mechanism. Okay. Now let's see. So now tell me what we need to do in this case here. Upon sharing the record through programmatically, what needs to be done? Okay, in that class, what will do? That's what I'm saying. Now, class directly we can't invoke. Method we can invoke through process builder. Then, what piece of code we need to run? Whenever I'm sharing the record through by using manual user interface also, where this sharing information will get resides in which objects? Share objects. Okay, share objects. Now, in this case, what happens? Whenever I'm sharing the record through user interface, Salesforce is going to be creating one entry inside that share object. For every standard object, for every custom object in Salesforce, Salesforce is maintaining one share object by default. Okay, for every standard, for every custom object, Salesforce is maintaining that share object. The two, though the share objects will be accessible whenever we are having the object's availability as either private or public read only. If the object's availability is either private or public read only, then only these share objects will be accessible to you. In the other cases, these share objects cannot be accessible to you. Because record is a public record, everybody can see, everybody can modify, so there is no need of concept of share. Okay, so now here in this case, share object will be getting accessible whenever we are making the object's availability as private and public read only. Okay, clear? Now, in this case, what share object will be providing with the Salesforce view? So let me explain here. For each and every object, Salesforce is providing a share object by default. For every standard, for every custom, Salesforce is maintaining one share object. For example, I'm having the account object, contact, opportunity, lead, case, order, contract. Like that, so many standard objects are available along with my custom object also. Customer, hiring manager, and the position. Like that, you will be having so many share objects will be available inside this. So many objects are available inside my organization, so which are standard and custom. For every object, Salesforce is providing a share object automatically by default. Salesforce is maintaining a share object by default. For every object, Salesforce will maintain a share object. So for the account object, account share, for contact share, for opportunity share, for lead share, for case share, for order share, contract share, customer underscore C, customer underscore share, for the hiring manager underscore share, for position underscore share. Like that for each and every object, it may be standard, it may be custom. For every object, Salesforce will be maintaining a share object. Inside this share object, only the actual sharing information will be getting resides. Okay, the sharing information will be getting resides inside the share object. Like here, it will be holding which record you have shared, okay, which record you have shared, to which user you have shared, okay, to which user you have shared, what level of access that you have granted, why the record is visible to the person. That means how you have shared manually, or he is the owner of the record, or whether you have shared through a sharing group. Okay, so in this case, it will be holding the whole information inside. Okay, share object contains all the details of the sharing of a record. That means which record has been shared, to whom the record has been shared, what level of access we have granted, why the record has been shared. Everything will be, the whole information will be storing inside the account share object. Like as all the account records sharing details will be storing inside the account share object. Lead records sharing information will be stored inside the lead share object. Customer records sharing information will be storing inside the customer share object. Position records sharing information will be storing inside that position share object. So that in each and every object we are having the respective share object is available in Salesforce. So inside this share object we will be having the sharing information, sharing details of the record here. Okay, clear up to now? Now, let me show you one manual process. Okay, manually I will share the record. I will track, okay, to whom we have shared, where the information has been stored. Okay, everything let me show you practically, then you can understand. Okay. So in this case, for example, let me go to my account share object. In this account share object here, it is storing what? Sharing details of all the account records. Whatever the account records are available inside the object. So now these records will be sharing to whom? These records are being shared to who are the people are able to access the record. The whole information will be available inside the account share object. So in this case, how it is holding this information? What fields are available inside this object? Because this is the standard object maintaining by Salesforce to store all the sharing details of your account record. So to store this information, definitely it is holding some columns right inside this object. Yes, then what are those columns are available? In this account share object, we are having so many columns are available. First one, account ID column. These are the fields. The first field is account ID field. What this account ID field contains? ID of the account record which has been shared to the people. That means which account record you have shared to the person, that account record ID will be storing inside this. Okay. It contains the ID of the account record which has been shared to the users. Which has been shared to the users. Next, to whom you have shared the record? How do we know? User are group ID. All these columns already told you during our admin concepts only. Okay, during the admin concept, I have given the whole information. User are group ID. So maybe so many people have forget about all the things. Okay, that's what I'm repeating this one again. Okay, so now user are group ID. That means it contains what? It contains the ID of the user or public group ID to whom you want to share the record. Okay, it contains the user ID or public group ID to whom the record to be get shared. Record to be get shared. Then how do you know if it is the user or if it is the public group then? By using what? ID. Yeah, how do we know? 005 means what? User. If it is a public group then 00G. Right. Based on that we can able to understand this. Next, what level of access you have granted on my account record? How do we know? Account access level field. Now this field will be having that information of the level of access that you have granted on that account record. Okay. Level of access has been granted on account record. That means upon sharing the record, what level of access you have granted. Okay. Now, so now what kind of access you can grant? Read only, read write. Okay. Read only, read write. If it is the read only, what this field contains? If you are granting the access as read only, now this field contains the value as read. If you are granting read write permission, it is having the value as edit. Suppose if I am the owner of the record, then it contains the value all. That means he is having the full permission on the record here because he is the owner of the record. Next, contact access level. Contact access level. Now this field will be holding that upon sharing that record, if the account record is having any associated contacts, then what about those contact records? You want me to share those contacts? Upon sharing those contacts, then what level of access you want me to grant on that contact? Like for example, when you try to share this one here, we can specify the account records and then default it will be sharing the contacts also and the contract records also. Along with that, we can specify opportunities also we can share and then cases also we can share. The facility is available to you. So now here in this case, contact access level we can specify and then along with that we are having opportunity access level. So what level of access you have granted on the opportunity records, related opportunity records? Level of access granted on related opportunity records. Case access level. It will be indicating that level of access that you have granted on the related case records. Level of access that you have granted on the related case records. Next, row cars. So what this row cars contains in this case? Reason, that means sharing reason, why the record has been shared. Why the record has been shared. That we can able to indicate with the help of the row cars. Contains the sharing reason. For example, manual, account sharing rule. Like, because of the sharing rule, the record might be shared, or manually also we have shared the record to the team. So in this case here, what needs to be done? We are going to be holding this whole information inside this object. So it is holding that account ID, user or group ID, account access level, contact access level, opportunity access level, row and the case access level, and the row cars. All this information will be storing inside this particular object. So that means what? Whenever I'm going to be sharing the record through the manual process, automatically this record will be getting created. Suppose if you want to share the record through programming, then what we need to do? Create the record inside this table through programmatically. So programmatically, we have to share. How to share this record? Now let's see. For example, come to a scenario. I have a user interface for my account object. Form will be available to me. I have entered some details, click on save button. What will happen? I have entered the details inside my account record form. I'll click on save button. What will happen? Record will be creating inside my account object with the details. Suppose if you want to create the record through programming, then what can be done? We have to create the object of what? Account class and then supply the values for the fields inside the record by using insert statement. So now as of now what happened here is whenever I'm going to sharing the record, for example, let me take an account record. Whenever I'm sharing this record, we are doing that what? Click on sharing button, click on add, select the people to whom you want to share the record. Here I'm selecting the development user, and then I would like to grant the access over here, read only or read. That means what? I'm selecting the which record you are sharing. This is the idea of the record here which you are going to share. To whom you are sharing? Development user. What level of access you are granting? Read write access here. Okay, now what is the reason? Manual sharing. Because we are sharing the record manually through sharing button. So these are the entries are available. Based on these details, you will be storing this information. Let me track this one. About insurance record. Here, this is the record. This is the ID of the record here. Let me share this record right now. Click on save. Okay. The owner, the record owner is currently the development user. Let me share the record to that manager user. I'm sharing this record. Now currently, not only the development user, because development user will be the owner of the record here, and then manager user is also having the access on the record with read write permission because it is having that reason is manual share. Then how can we track this information now? Tell me through programming. I want to track. Then where this information will be getting besides account share object. How to query this information now? How to query this information? Now in this case we can query the data. Go to your query editor, query this information. Select account ID, account access level, and then opportunity access level, user or group ID, row cost from what? Account share, where account ID equals to account ID which I have copied. About insurance account record ID is this one. Now it will be tracking that information to whom this record has been shared. Click on execute. Now we can see currently this is the record ID is available here. This record has been accessible by the two people. Now who are those people? This is one person, this is one person. Now tell me both are users or public groups are there in me? Both are users because it is starting with 005. So now here this user will be having the access, this user will be having that. Now this user is having what level of access? Account access level is what? Full access. Why? He is the owner. So it is indicating row cost equals to owner. So now in this case, the second person, okay, second user, he is the user, like as a testing user or manager user, whatever. Now this user is accessing the record. What is the level of access? Read and write permission. Why he is having the access on the record? Manual sharing. Because of manual sharing. Okay, that means what? Whenever I'm sharing the record through the user interface, the record will be creating inside my account tab, account share object. But if you want to share the record through programmatically, what we have to do? We have to come from backend process. That means instead the insert the record into that account share object directly through programming. Okay, clear? Understood the concept now? Now, so now tell me, I want to share this record. Okay, I want to share the same record to that another person also. How can we share? Now tell me. Through programming, how can we do that? I want to share this record. This is my account record ID here. I want to share the record to another person also, another user. Through programming, how can we share?
Create an object.
Okay, if I'm sharing the record, click on add, it will be collecting the details which we have entered. With this one, it is creating the record in the account share object. But now what I'm doing through programming, I want to share. So don't need to go to the user interface, go to that programming, go to that table, create the record there itself. Automatically, it will be reflecting in all the places. So I need to create the record in which object? Account share object. So go to that account share. It goes to new account share. Then account share dot to whom you want to share. That means which record you want to share. Specify that field account ID. What account record you want to share? This is the ID of that account record which I would like to share. Next. Now the fields are available here. Now to which user you want to share this record here. PSC share dot user or group ID. To which user you want to share. For example, I'm specifying some user ID 005 some value inside this. PSC share dot account access level. What level of access you want to grant? I want to grant read write permission. Then what you can specify? If you want to grant read only, then read. Right. Next. Now after that here, why you are sharing the record? Okay, row cars. So you can specify PSC share dot row cars. I'm indicating like as a manual. We can create this reason. Okay, sharing reasons we can create manually also. There is a possibility is available in Salesforce. Like for example, if you want to create that sharing reason, for example, just to go to your object here. For example, hiring manager object. Go to the view object. You can create your own affect sharing reasons also. Why you are sharing the record? You will be having the section is available sharing reasons section. Affect the sharing reasons section. There is a section is available. We can create that reason also. Why you are sharing? Not only okay, like a hiring manager sharing rule, not only manual, because here sometimes here my manager asked me to share, or my colleague asked me to share. So at that time we can specify the reasons also. We can create our own sharing reasons also. Reason label, reason name that we can able to access inside your graphics programming also. Upon sharing the record, we can access this sharing reasons also. That facility is available to you. Not only using those hard-coded sharing reasons, we can create our own reasons also according to the business requirement as well. Okay. So now here we are indicating the sharing reason as a manual. Then once it is done, then what we need to do? Then the record is ready with the value. Then what we need to do? Insert SCC share. That's it. Over. This is nothing but your Apex sharing. Okay, this is nothing but your Apex sharing. So whenever if you want to share the record through programmatically, okay, so then here we have to create the object of the respective share class, pass the required values, and then insert the record into that object itself. From there, automatically record will be getting shared. Okay, clear? For example, let me show you that practically. I'm pasting this information in the execute anonymous window. So I would like to specify the user, that means to which user you would like to share the record. As of now, this record has been shared to 2 users. Only 2 users are able to access that. About insurance, this is the record is available. Currently, how many people are able to see this record? Development user and manager user. I want to share this record to the customer user also. Go to that user object. I want to select the testing user also. Testing user record ID I'm copying over here. I'm pasting inside this. I'm sharing the record manually. Along with that, I'm indicating that SCC shared our opportunity access level. I'm indicating. So I'm sharing this record with respect to users here. Now let's execute this piece of code. Now before executing that, let me tell you here, let me show you practically how many people are able to see my record right now. About insurance, Click on share. How many people? Manager, user, and then development user. Only these two people here. Okay. Let me execute this piece of code. Click on execute. These are the fields, right? So directly we can insert the values. Now click on execute. Request has been sent to the server. It will be creating one more entry also. Now let's go to the user interface. Refresh this user interface. Now what happened in this case? Now we are able to see the testing user also will be able to see the record. Now query the data over here. When you go to that query, execute that same query again. Now we can see three people are having the access on the record. Okay, one person is having that full access, two people are having read-write access. So depends upon your requirement, we can able to share the record also through programmatically, okay, by using the respective share object inside your organization. Okay, clear? Now, so in this case, how can we invoke this process here automatically through the process builder? Now let's see. So let me take a small use case, let me implement that. Here just have hard coded everything here. How to share, okay, through programmatically. Now let's see. Okay. Same process we are using here, nothing different, no change. Okay, just to create the object of the share class, pass the value for the fields, insert the record. That's it, over. Okay. Now, so now here in this case, I would like to create a class. In that class, I would like to place this a piece of business logic to share the record. Okay, that to what record I want to share, whatever the user that has selected this user, to this user I want to share the record. For example, I'm creating the record inside my account object. Upon creating the record, okay, whatever the user name that I have selected, to this user I want to share this record dynamically. Okay, to this record, to this user I want to share the record dynamically at runtime, and that too I will decide that based on the annual revenue, I will decide the level of access also. If the annual revenue is greater than 50 lakhs, I would like to grant read-write permission. If the annual revenue is less than 50 lakhs, I would like to grant read-only permission. Okay, clear? Now, so now here in this case, how can we do that? Now let's see practically in this case. Let's take a small use case. Configure a process through process builder to share the account record to the selected user dynamically at runtime upon creating the record and then upon updating the record in the object. Grant the level of access based on the annual revenue as given. If the account records annual revenue greater than or equals to some 50 lakhs, then grant access as delete. That means read-write. If the account's annual revenue value less than 50 lakhs, then grant access as read, that means read only. This is my requirement. Okay. Now, so let's see how can we implement this one. So in this case, first of all, we have to write the business logic, okay, by using an Apex class. In that one, prepare a method. Inside that method, collect the list of records which you would like to share. And then based on that annual revenue of that record, we can able to decide that level of access also. And then make that method can be accessible from the process builder. So whenever if you want to invoke a method from the process builder, then we have to define that method with an annotation called as @invocable method. Okay, there is an annotation like previously we have used an annotation called as @future, which is going to be indicating this method can be executable by placing inside that Apex queue outside of your organization. Like the similar way, if you want to invoke a method from process builder, then we have to define that method with the help of an annotation called as @invocable method. If you are defining the method with this annotation, then only this method can be recognizing by the process builder, then only it can able to invoke that, or else it cannot be accessible. Okay, whatever the methods you would like to access through the process builder, those methods should be get defined with the help of an annotation called as @invocable method. Okay, @invocable method annotation we have to use. Here you will be having two properties. One is label, second one is the description. We'll see how to specify the label property, how to specify the description, everything we'll see practically, and how to pass a value for this method. Okay, from the process builder we'll see practically. Okay, process builder is not only invoking my method, it has to pass the values also. It has to pass the values also. Let's see how can we implement that. Okay, now let's see practically in this case. So let me define a class. I'm creating an Apex class. I'm indicating the class name as accounts to share helper. So this is the class. I'm preparing a method. Public static void share account records. True. So which records you want to share? I want to share the list of records, list of account, LSD account. These are the list of account records which I would like to share to the people. Okay, which I would like to share to the people. So what are the records you are trying to share to the people? For example, I'm creating an account record. I'm entering some data, sample, type equals to some prospect, industry, some banking, annual revenue, some value, and then I'm selecting the user as some testing user. Testing user, I would like to share the record to the testing user. Rating value, some heart, phone number, some value, fax number, some value, website, ownership as some public. I'm indicating the active status as yes. Upon click on this save button, record has to be created successfully, and that record has to be shared to the user testing also. Okay, to the testing user also it has to share the record. Clear? Now that means what? Whenever we are going to be sharing that record, that means once the record has been created, it will be invoking the process builder. Now the process builder has to verify whether this particular field is empty or not. If it is empty, no need to share the record to anybody else. If it is not empty, that means if the user has been selected, like as some customer user, then if this field is not empty, that means it will be holding what? User value. What it means here? User ID or the user name? ID. Okay, it will be holding the ID of the user, okay, to whom this account record will be getting associated. So that it will be holding the ID of this particular user record. So that if this field is not empty, then I would like to collect the ID of this user. To this user, I want to share the record. Okay, to this user, I want to share the record. So what is the reason I'm indicating manual? What is the level of access that will be deciding based on annual revenue value? Suppose if I'm entering like as less than 50 lakhs, it should be okay, read only access here. If I'm getting like as some 75 lakhs, then it will be what here? Read write access. Depends upon the value I would like to decide. So that here I would like to verify whether the records has been supplied or not, record has been created or modified or not. I would like to cross check. So what records you would like to share? I need to verify that condition first. If this collection is not empty, if the collection is not empty, then I would like to iterate that collection from starting to ending. That means what account records you would like to share? Account, some ACC from LST account. These are the various account records I would like to share to the people over. Upon sharing the record here, I need to make sure that this record is holding this particular field value or not. What is this field name here? Share record 2. There is a field is available. I would like to verify if SPC dot share record 2 is not equals to null. This field contains what? ID. Can you compare with the null empty? No. So now generally we are using the ACC dot share records to not equals to null and ACC dot share records not equals to empty. But this is the record ID field. ID field we can't compare with the string values. Always you have to compare with the null only, not with the empty space. Okay? It will throw the string exception to you. So in this case here, that means if the account record contains this value, that means if it is not null, that means some user has been selected. That means we need to share the record. How to share? By creating the object of account share class. Account share is issue equals to new account share. Okay, I'm creating the object of that account share class. So now tell me what values we need to supply. ACC share dot account ID. Which account record you want to share? ACC dot ID. Next one. Share record two. Row cards. ACC share dot opportunity access level. I'm indicating like some account access level. How to decide that access level? If condition. If ACC dot annual greater than or equals to some 50 lakhs. Then ACC share dot account access level. What we can grant in this case? That means read write access. Else ACC share dot account access level. These are all for fields, not the method. These are all of the fields. Then after that, created selection, bulkification here also. Okay, here we have to specify the bulkification process. Okay, don't make it as a single record sharing manually. Make it as bulkification here also. I'm creating the selection. Star account share, LSD share. Share accounts. So now once the collection has been getting prepared, add the record to the collection. And this I'm using the bulkification here. Once all the records have been added to the collection, then outside the sum. Then what we can do? Share accounts. If it is not empty, then I want to insert. That means insert. Simply we can use insert or print. Okay. Share accounts. Okay. This is the functionality. So that means what we did, I'm preparing a method inside my class which is going to be collecting the list of account records which needs to be get shared to the people. Do not verify if the collection is empty or not. If the collection is not empty, then I'm iterating each and every account record from the collection. I'm verifying that whether this account record can be shared to the people or not. That means whether you have selected any user to share the record or not, I'm verifying that. If the account records a share record to field value is not empty, that means not null. That means if you want to share the record, then to whom you want to share, we are indicating the values by using that account share class object. So we have created the object of the account share class, and then I'm passing the required information, account ID value. That means this is the account record which I need to share to the people. And then this is the level of access that I would like to grant. This is the user I would like to share the level of share the record. And this is the access level for the opportunity. This is the access level for that account record also. I'm indicating that whole information as well. I specified the whole information. This is the idea of the record which I need to share. This is the user to whom I would like to share. And then I'm going to be indicating the row class also. I'm indicating the opportunity access level and then account access level also. We have specified the whole information. Then I'm going to be adding into my collection because I want to make it as a bulkification process. And then finally, I'm going to be sharing the record to the people. Okay. Now, then how can we invoke this method from the process builder? Whenever you want to invoke this method from the process builder, then this method should be defined with the help of an annotation called as invocable method. Okay, invocable method. In this one, we have to specify the two properties. One is label property. Label property is used to indicate the name of that method. That means based on which name you want to recognize. So now inside the process builder, we can't access this method name. Method name will not be work. Whatever the label that you are providing over here, based on that label only, process builder will recognize your method. Okay, so give that label name here. Now I'm indicating account sharing process. Okay, account sharing process. This is the name I'm giving here. I'm giving the description also. Description equals to share accounts to users with level of access. With level of access. I'm indicating that I'm giving the label and the description. This should be in the single quote. There is no comma, there is no semi-separator over here. Okay, label property, and then directly we can specify the description property. Just we can give a space. That's it. No comma, no semicolon, nothing. Save this class code now. Now my class code has been saved. The method is also has been saved. Now this method can be invocable from my process builder also. But this method is expecting some parameters over here. Now we need to pass this value from my process builder dynamically at runtime. We'll see how can we implement this one. Okay, clear up to this one? Now simple concept like the account record creation, just we have created the account share record, so nothing else. So let's create the process builder now. Go to the process builder, go to the create, workflows and approvals, click on process builder. We don't have any processes right now inside my organization. Click on new button to create a new process. You know already how to use the process builder. Now, account records, sharing process. and giving the description also account record sharing process. And then select when the process has to be get started. I want to indicate whenever the record has been changed, I want to share that I would like to invoke this process. Click on save button. Now the process is ready. That means tell me on what object you want to create the process right now. We have to select the object because I want to create the process on account object. Whenever I'm creating a new record, whenever I'm updating that existing record, then I would like to share that record here. Now click on find an object here. I'm indicating account. Okay, account object. Whenever the record is created or edited, that means upon creating the record, upon updating the record, I would like to share that record to the people. Now click on save button. Next, we have selected the object name. Next, what is the criteria then? Add the criteria. Check for the value, share records. I want to verify whether the conditions has been met. When you want to share the record, upon creating the record or upon updating the record, in that particular share record to field has to be filled up. If that field is not empty, then only I would like to share. So that here select that condition. I'm adding the condition inside my account object. Okay, you will be having a field called as share record to field. If this a field value okay not equals to okay does not equals to okay a constant called as null. Okay, global constant null. That means if this a share record to field value does not equals to null. That means if it is not null, then only I would like to share the record to the people. So click on save button. Then what you want to do here? What is that action you want to do now? Invoking what? Apex. You know how to create the record, you know how to send the email alerts, you know okay how to update the fields, everything, child to parent, parent to child, everything already we have discussed. Now what I want to do, I want to create a Apex class. Okay, and I want to invoke the Apex class. Specify that Apex class here. I'm indicating share records through Apex. What is that Apex class method here? What is that method name? Can I give this one or the label? Label, okay, label. So now it is indicating account sharing process. It is indicating directly. So now account sharing process is means what here? It is a label. It is not recommending. It is not identifying the method based on the name. Why? Because if it is having the identifying based on the name with the method name, with the same name you may be having multiple methods also because of overloading process. That means we can have multiple methods with the same name with a different signature. So at that time it will be a conflict. So that here it is identifying each and every method based on that label name which you have given. So based on the label to recognize that. I want to invoke this particular method. Upon invoking this method is expecting some parameters over here. That is LST accounts. It will be populating account sharing process method. Now it is indicating set Apex variables. That means what there are some parameters are available inside this method which it is expecting. So I need to supply the value. So click on add row. So what is that parameter name? It is indicating the parameter name also, that is called as LST accounts. This is the parameter is available for this method, okay, which is having the label account sharing process. So now for this particular parameter, what we need to supply? Account record. What record you have created? That record we need to supply based on the record information. We will be sharing the record to the people automatically. So for that one, I'm indicating I would like to share the record that is called as field reference. What record you want to share? The account record, which has been invoked that process. That means here select the account record that started your process. This means whatever the account record you have created or whatever the account record you have modified, share this account record to the particular method. The method will receive that record in the form of a collection. It will create that collection. It will be sharing the record automatically to the user which has specified. Okay. So now select that account record that has been invoked your process. Now click on choose. Click on save. That's it, over. So now here we are going to be invoking that method through process builder here. Now click on activate. Okay. So now my process is in active status right now. From now onwards, whenever I'm creating the record or whenever I'm updating the record, okay, if I'm selecting any of the user, automatically record will be getting shared to the people. Let's see. So let's go to that account record right now. I'm creating a new account record. Process builder, test account. Type and indicating like as customer direct. Industry some banking. Annual revenue value some 67 lakhs. Rating value some hard. Phone number some value. Tax number some value. The website some cognizant. Ownership some public. Active status yes. Customer clarity high. And then here I'm indicating the user to whom you want to share the record. Select this user. I want to share my record. Currently, who is the owner of the record? Trading value user. Along with that, I want to share the record to customer user also. Okay, customer user also. I'm selecting customer user. Now click on save button. So once you click on that save button, my record has been created successfully. Once the record is created successfully, the record will be getting sharing to the customer user also through the process builder. Then how do we know whether the record has been shared or not? How can we verify? By click on sharing button. Simply click on sharing button. Now it is indicating. Now training back user will be having the full access. Along with the customer user is also having that read rate access. Why he is getting the read rate access? Annual revenue is more than 50 lakhs. He is getting the read only access on that opportunity because of what? Okay, manual sharing. Okay. So this is how we can able to share the record through programmatically also to the required people here. Okay, clear? Suppose for example, I'm creating the record right now. I'm creating one more record. Test account 123. I'm passing some phone number, tax number, website, ownership some public, rating hard, type and the industry value, active status yes. Am I specified any user over here? No. Do I need to share in this case? No. Now click on save. Record has been created. Click on sharing button. Overall, the people are able to access. Only the owner of the record will be getting the access. Many people will not be able to access it now. Suppose here I'm opening this record right now. I'm selecting this user field. That is development user. Click on save. What will happen now? Record will be shared. Click on sharing button. Development user also will be getting the access on the record automatically. So no need to select the people manually. No need to select the level of access manually. Depends upon your requirement. Decide the user at runtime. Decide the level of access at runtime through that Apex sharing mechanism. Okay. Previously, we used to invoke this method from the trigger, but now here with the help of process builder also we can do it. Okay. Clear? Okay. So do the practice on this one today. Tomorrow we will see the concept of exception handling mechanism. Along with that, tomorrow we are going to be discussing about the feature called as sandboxes. Okay. What exactly is sandbox? We'll see practically in tomorrow's session.
We can invoke the same method like trigger.
Sorry? That's it. The same method we can invoke from your trigger also. Just we can able to go with the trigger. After insert, after update, just you can pass the value trigger.new, you can pass to the collection. That's it. Over. Okay, same method we can invoke from your trigger also.
Hello, sir. Sir, I have one doubt.